I've done is gone ahead and put some terrain pieces on here. Got the basics down. Then I'm going to be doing a little bit more work on the center terrain pieces. But now we're going to be working on fluffing up some more of the snow, because if you can see the texture, it's getting there. So you can see it, the way it looks. It's getting there. And like before, on the previous mix, we're going to be using paint, chalk, baking soda, some water, and some PVA glue. And this time around we're going to make it really nice and fluffy, and we're going to pile it up on certain areas of the model, most notably around here, and maybe a big old pile of it maybe here. PVA glue, glue my water. It's all the way on the opposite side of the room. Typical me. Typical dad. Always getting most of his stuff unprepared. So all it is just regular tap water. Going to take off baking soda first. Now you don't have to add the chalk. I just add it simply because I feel it makes it better. Put the water over here. Paint there. Now the PVA glue. If I can open it up. Like before, it's going to be end up coming out like ketchup. Come on. Big dollop of it. There we go. Put it back on. Grab yourself a brush. I'm going to use the tail end of the brush to mix the liquids in here, then slide it in like one great big pile. Would just like to say thank you to all the new subscribers to my channel, and to my current subscribers, thank you for watching my videos and taking the time out of your busy schedule to watch my little channel in here on YouTube. Now, as you can see, it's really starting to fluff. See the air bubbles? That's what we want. We want it to get really nice and fluffy. Which is why I didn't put anywhere near as much water. Now you can of course experiment and find yourself the right consistency that you want. Like I said, it all depends on what you want. Like if I wanted to make this a little bit more fluffier, just take a little bit more baking soda, not much. And then boom, see it turn clumpy? That's what we're getting at. There we go. There you go. Looks almost like porridge. You can see the consistency of it. So it's really close to where we want it. And we're only doing 2 or 3 little snow piles, so it's not like we're going to be doing much. But as I said, if you want it thicker, add more baking soda. If you want it thinner, add more water. Just experiment to what you want. Visualize it. If you've actually looked at certain pictures of snow, you'll realise that not all snow looks the same. Now, I'm sorry if this is going to be out of frame or anything, but I'm going to take this big old clump pile, put it here. See it? It really has clumped, which is what we want. There's going to be a third part to this video where I'm going to explain snow pigments, and which is what I was trying to explain a little bit in the video prior, was snow pigments, because snow will always pull up due to where the wind blows, wind and animals, etc., etc. And a huge, great big walker like this. See, because that's what did it for me during Star Wars, when I watched these little walkers walking across Hoth, which is actually Denmark. I believe it was Denmark. Or was it Norway? No, it was Norway. Correction, it was Norway. Was the fact that the snow didn't clump up. It did when they cut to the scenes of the rebels in the bunkers, because that was actually made out of real ice and snow. So it clumped up just right around them, but when you saw the little walker going by, it just didn't look natural, And I'm not blaming LucasArts or in Industrial Light and Magic. The guys, those guys do superb work. And back then, you got to think about it, it was late 70s, early 80s. There wasn't CG, there wasn't, any kind of real special effects, George Lucas actually perfected CG. He created so many companies that use CG. The guys that did Toy Story, Pixar, they were originally owned by George Lucas. And their first movie that they ever did was, I don't know if someone's going to correct me. It was one where they was underwater, and there was an alien race, and they started making faces out of the water, the people in the movie. Not Blue Lagoon or anything like that. I can't remember what it's called now. It'll come to me. I'll probably put it in the credits. And Lucas said the hardest thing he had to do was finding computer hardware that could match what he wanted to see. Now, here we go. You're starting to see a rough idea of what I've done. Do you see where the feet have impacted into the snow? It's kicked it up around the toes, which is what I've been trying to do. And you don't want to pat it down soft and smooth, you actually want it nice and fluffy the way it's at, because snow doesn't look like it's been patted down with a brush. So that's not what I'm trying to go for here. So if it looks like it's a bit too flat in certain areas, I'll push it, agitate it a little, try and get a little bit more fluff out of that baking soda. And start to see how it looks. Now, I also know that snow acts very similar to the way dirt and mud does. So this is where we're at. Okay. Let me take the camera off the tripod. And that way you can get a better view. Apologies for this. So then that way you can see it much more clearer. The way it's fluffed, the way it looks. See how the snow is built up inside the metal crevices of the foot here, and the ankle joints here. Oh, focus. Yeah, you can see it where it's built up in this area. All that is a straightforward mix of our chalk and rubbing alcohol and turning it into our own weathering pigment. And where the rubbing alcohol eventually where it evaporates, it leaves the chalk behind, and then you can just take some Krylon clear varnish. This stuff I have here, the matte varnish, the Krylon, and spray the model down with it as the rubbing alcohol is drying, and it stays behind and it stays pulled in, and see, nothing gets it out. It's there, it's permanent now, and it gives the effects that snow has gotten inside the joints. So you can see the rough hardened impact snow here, and the not soft white fluff snow that is just kicked up by stepping down into the snow. And that's how I do my snow on bases. Just come around a little bit more like this for you, so you can see more clearly. And of course I'll be doing another video once this snow has dried. It's going to take about 2 hours for it to be touch dry, but a full 24 hours before you can do anything else with it. And then next I'm going to be weather pigmenting on the joints and along the shin guards and various things like that, and going to be showing you how far some of my models have, my tank models have progressed from my Imperial Guard. And there's a quick look-see for you. That's my Hellhound. And so yeah, you can get a rough idea of where I'm going with my Imperial Guard. And this is going to be a Imperial Sentinel Walker for my Imperial Guard. I'm hoping to get some more of these models so I can convert them as well into Imperial Sentinel Walkers. So there you go guys, this is part 2 of my snow base and how I do my fluffy snow. So you've seen it, straight even mix, you get this kind of snow. Okay. If you want the fluffy snow, you add more baking soda. Okay, so you add more baking soda. Okay, and you get this sort of look. Okay, 2 different types of snow, same form, different formula. Okay guys, and next video I'm going to be doing is showing you how to make a homemade paint shaker, and that pretty much anyone else can make, and it will probably cost you around about $15 to $20. Okay, so as always guys, peace and love and respect, take care, love you all, bye bye. Hey guys, and we are back, and as you can see, the second layer of snow has cured quite nicely. Here I'm poking at it and it's not coming off. See, it's okay, battery, it's not coming off. and that's how good it cures. Now, the next stage I'm going to be at with this video, with this model I should say, is I am going to give it a nice going over with a matte finish, Krylon's matte finish, and what that will do is that will protect my paint on my model where it's at right now, and then I am going to mix up some of my chalk powder and some rubbing alcohol, as you can see 70% isopropanol, in a nice little container with a brush, and then I'm just going to brush on like a weather pigment, basically, a cheap man's weather pigment, and I'm going to weather pigment the feet, the shins, the upper knee joint here, some of the hips. I'm literally just going to take the model, sorry about that, take the model, flip her upside down, okay, and anywhere that you can see light hitting the underside of this model, it is going to get snow flicked on it, because I live out in a very snowy area. I don't live in Iceland or Greenland or anything like that, but when Utah gets snow, we get snow. I mean, to the point where certain parts of Utah is snowed in and you have to have helicopters bring you food, basically. Sorry, I have to chew some gum for a minute. Just finished eating my dinner and, well, my supper I should say. I haven't been feeling too well, so it's actually been 2 or 3 days since I last did this. So I've actually been in bed. Man flu, you know. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna weather it now. The legs, well, I'm gonna weather it now off camera. And if you guys wanted to see how I weather it, I've got plenty of other vehicles I can do tutorials on it with. But I'm gonna weather up the legs and get her ready for some decent Arctic field conditions, because this is going to be part of my Imperial Guard. My Imperial Guard army is urban based, but they're on a snow world right now in the storyline of my army, so hence that's why a lot of my models in my Imperial Guard army will actually have a snow base. And so that's what I'm going to leave it for now, guys. And if you want, I'll take some more detailed pictures of the snow with my other camera I've got laying around, and I will add those in as a photo slide to the end of this video. So I'll see you in the next part where the legs of the model is actually weathered. So take care, guys. Hi guys, welcome back to part 3 of the snow tutorial. And I've already gone ahead and weather pigment, heavily weather pigmented the legs. And I know you're thinking, oh god, that looks, you know, horrid. But what I'm going to be doing here is just taking regular tap water, okay, regular tap water, a couple of brushes, okay, and I'm going to do streaking. Basically, if you look on the legs, okay, especially right along here, along this panel line, just taking a wet brush and running it down. And what it does is the water breaks up the chalk, because this is all it is now, it's just straight chalk, okay? No weathering pigments or anything. I've got my own homemade weathering pigments. That's all weathering pigments are, it's just chalks with some additives. That's it. So it's just straight chalk going down the contours of the armor. Oh, I'm out of frame there, sorry guys. Going down the contours of the armor, and what I'm doing is I'm causing a weathering slash streaking effect. And the water picks up the chalk and moves it. And once I'm happy where it's at, I'll hit it with some matte varnish, and then we're done. So this bit's going to take a while. I just wanted to give you guys a small rough heads up of where I'm at, okay? So this is it as she sits right now, okay? Next part, when it comes to the next video, you'll see the majority of this gone and the settling pigments will be in, okay guys? So I'll see you in the next part. And we are back. Thank you for the wait, guys. To you, it'll probably be instantly through the magic of video editing. But as you can see, the legs look completely different. See? And it's not just the legs. Did a little bit of the torso too, the gun mantlet as well. Did the back, the underneath, as you can see. And this is where we're at now. I'm going to still do a little bit more rubbing with it. You can choose to use a wet palette to move it around, but I also noticed that the rubbing alcohol combo I used caused the chalk to move but then resettle in the exact same spot. And a friend of mine suggested using an eraser, so I got this small little tiny eraser, and I have been, as you can see here, you know, just rubbing the chalk off, as you can see. And it's a pretty effective way of doing it, actually. He also suggested using an old dry brush. I use this for dry brushing. He said just make sure that the bristles themselves are completely bone dry, and just, you know, gently rub, and as you can see, it does lift the chalk mixture off nicely without disturbing too much of the model. Now the shin plates I made out of an old for sale sign that I had. I recently, if you guys have watched some of my videos, you noticed I purchased a Pontiac Bonneville, and I took the for sale signs out of it and just cut them and glued them, and now they're shin guards. Same as the missile launcher guard here, and the spaced armor on the sides, as you can see. The spaced armor here is made of the same stuff, just using little bits of sprue that I cut as spacer blocks, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And just gonna finish off doing a little bit more rubbing here and there, get it to where I want it to be, and then I am going to give it a blast of matte finish, and then she's done. The somewhat centerpiece walker from my Imperial Guard army is done. This is going to be the lead walker in a set of 3 of them. So I've got another 2 of these models I'm going to be building. They'll have different weapon sets as well. I have a old las cannons, dual-barreled las cannons sitting around here somewhere. Here it is. From an old Predator that I no longer have, and what I plan on doing is converting these to actually become the main multi-laser. So I'm going to sit that high. Of course, it's going to sit where the flamethrower is, so you can just get a rough idea of where it's going to sit. And it's going to get a missile launcher combo as well, and a heavy bolter here, where this one has an assault cannon. The other one's going to get a heavy bolter. The other model is just going to have 3 heavy bolters. Because if you haven't really known a lot about me, I love heavy bolters, 40k heavy bolters, mostly because they work on damn near everything. In the right circumstances, they can get through rhinos, razorbacks, land speeders, bikers. They're good for crowd control. The fact that if you can get a Devastator squad with 4 heavy bolters, each heavy bolter doing 3 shots with rendering, you know, you can make short work of any Greater Demon, any Necron Lord, because, well, they're a Necron, and Necrons really don't get armor saves from heavy bolters. So my Dark Angels army chapter and my Chaos army both use heavy bolters, simply because I'm just a big heavy bolter whore, as they say. But this is one part of the videos. I'm going to be doing another part where I'm going to be showing you how to make a paint shaker on the chip. Okay guys, so I'll see you in the next video, and as always, peace and love and respect. Take care, bye bye.